What's up everybody, once again my name is Matt and welcome back to Let's Play Xenoblade Chronicles X. In the last episode we took on the affinity mission that was required to take on Chapter 5. And in this episode, well, we probably will finish up the Chapter 5 requirements, but first I want to take on one more affinity mission, and before that I want to show off the status of my character because a couple of you guys in the comments have been asking to see, what our current stats are. So very quickly I'll just go through all these menus. You can pause if you want a more detailed look, but I figured this would be the best way to show it off. Also, between videos, I did level up just a tad, and I also bought some new armor from Armory Alley, so here's what I'm currently rocking with. I don't know, it seems pretty good if you ask me. Like, we're looking good right now for where we are in the game. So, there's all my current armor. Here are my current arts. You can see, like, what level they are, etc., etc. Nothing too important there. Here you can see my skills, which aren't leveled at all, so I probably should do that at some point. And here are my soul voices, which are completely default. Haven't really messed with that at all, because I really don't even know what I'm looking at when I go into that menu. So maybe one of you guys can explain that in the comments. Alright, so now that that's done, let's talk to Eleonora and level up our mechanical skill again.
Congrats.
Your blade level has risen, Matt. Congratulations! Your newest bonus is right here. Aw man, what is it? Lighting options? Oh boy! I've always wanted those! It's the gift of light! Now you can adjust the lighting in your barracks. Set it up however you like. Make it dim and calming, or bright and beautiful. Oh, and if you don't know, you can customize your barracks by using the console besides the entrance to the Blade Network lobby. Now, on to your bonus field skill.
Which skill?
Alright, so we're going to level up mechanical like we always do because, like I said, right now it is the most important skill to level up. So we're going to level that up as high as we can, as fast as we can. Now that we're pretty much done with this, though, I guess the next thing we want to do is make our way back inside the Blade Barracks because that's where the affinity mission that I want to take on is located. And this one is for, Elma's character, and you do get some pretty good gear for completing this. Problem is, the gear that I have now, I'm pretty sure is better than the gear that we get, but I still want to take this on anyway. So to do this, we need to get Irena out of our party because she's a restricted member for this quest, and now that she's gone, we should be able to accept this and take it on. So what do you say we do it? The We Were Soldiers mission. Pretty exciting.
We have visitor.
Hey, you busy? Monty's team botched a job and we need a cleanup crew pronto.
Monty? So it's a reclaimer mission? Did we find a chunk of the white whale?
Chunks, plural. Bits and pieces have been washing up around here lately. Someone needs to go round them all up.
Okay, so we can question why they're collecting random parts, which seems pretty obvious, or we can worry about Monty's team, and that honestly seems like the better of the two options.
Oh, yeah. Those guys are fine. They lost some gear, but otherwise no big deal.
Hey, maybe we'll even find some materials we still haven't been able to synthesize in NLA.
Yeah, the reclaimers are all fired up too. Just remember, the area hasn't been cleared of indigents yet. It could be dangerous.
For an inexperienced team, at least. Which is why you came to us. Am I right?
Bingo. I am asking a few other top teams, so if you want the job, you best shake a leg.
Tatsu not let anyone steal this glory. Team Tatsu, move out.
Alright, so we have our next mission. We are not calling ourselves Team Tatsu. If anything, we're Team Awesome. Now, thankfully, we do have a fast travel location pretty much right next to where we need to go, so we'll just very quickly head over there. And by the way, I don't know why I never tried this, but yeah, you can easily just fast travel while you're inside the barracks. You don't need to go outside. I guess I just always assumed that you needed to, so that'll save us a little bit of time. Also, if you look right underneath Primordia on the upper right, well, it just disappeared actually, but as soon as you fast travel somewhere for a couple of seconds underneath Primordia on the upper right or wherever you are in the world, it'll like tell you which location you're on. So if you are using this as sort of like a guide or following along with like the different quests that I'm doing, you can sort of use that to keep track of where I am, since obviously I can't show off the gamepad or, like a detailed map of where we actually are. there are gamepad capture boards, which I think I've talked about briefly before, but the problem is they're very, very expensive. They're roughly like $300, and to get that modified, I'd have to like send my gamepad all the way to Japan. It'd probably take like 3 weeks to get there. The person would have to like install the capture board and then send it back, which would take like another 3 weeks. So yeah, it's not really an option right now.
Team Tatsu, mission complete.
Yeah, it looks like we've got everything in the area.
I sure hope they can get something useful out of all this.
Well, well. Beaten to the punch.
Hey, Doug.
Gotta hand it to you, Elma. You work fast.
You must be the other team Vandam sent out, huh?
One of them, anyway. Thought we made pretty good time, too. But then you always were one step ahead. Remember? Back when Earth was hit. That lone Skell that struck back before anyone else? Guess whose Skell that was?
Wait, really? Elma, that was you?
That was a long time ago. And it didn't change anything.
Come to think of it, that was a tandem Skell, wasn't it? Weren't you with,
It's a distress call. Signal originating from...
That's Irena's ID.
And not far from here.
We'll go ahead. We can link back up later.
Team Tatsu coming too.
Oh no, that's not good. I actually like Irena's character. Well, we better do what we can to help out. So thankfully, we do have a fast travel location close to where she needs to be. So yeah, we'll probably beat Doug there because poor Doug and his team, they have to walk all the way across Mira. Whereas I have the almighty power of video games, meaning I can just like teleport basically, which is kind of awesome. Alright, so there are a couple of high-level indigents in this area, but nothing we should really have to worry about. For the most part, we can just, like, walk right by them. If we did get in a fight, though, we probably would be able to beat those guys. They're really not too hard. I believe they're called, like, Gexes or something like that. We've seen them before, and we've fought them before, so we know what to expect. For the most part, though, like, around lower 20s is what we're going to be fighting in the next area of Mira as well, so get used to seeing enemies of those levels and fighting them. We're going to have to get a little bit tricky in the way we do our combat.
Elma?
Irena's signal is coming from deeper inside. Looks like the only way to reach them is through here.
Then we better get moving. Come on.
Tatsu will protect rear flank.
Tatsu's not going to do jack crap, man. We're just going to run through this cave. These level 8s are not even going to bother us at all. But we did see that giant Simius, and yeah, he wants to fight, so let's give it to him, baby. Alright, so one thing I do want to mention is that, I keep forgetting to do this on, like, my main file, but I did it on my practice file a long time ago. Now, you may have noticed that, like, every time we changed our class or leveled up our class, we got, like, new arts available to us, and they put those, like, automatically on our art bar, for lack of a better word. You can actually go back and, like, choose some of the arts that you had in prior classes. So there were, like, 1 or 2 arts that we had before that are more useful than some of the arts that we have available to us right now. And on my practice file, I actually swapped those out, like, a long time ago. Except on my main file, I just keep forgetting to do that, and that actually does change how combat works a lot, because, we actually have a lot of better arts, at least in my opinion, available to us right now that, like, give us more attacks and stuff like that, so I kind of want to, like, spend a little bit of time later on and, swap some of my arts around. That way I get rid of some of the ones that I don't really use, and, more useful ones in.
Any sign of Irena?
There.
That's Irena's.
She didn't fall off the cliff.
We need to check. Let's head down.
Oh no, hopefully she didn't fall. Before we check though, can we actually do this field action? I don't think we can. Yeah, no, level 3 archaeological, so not gonna be able to do that one right now. Anyways, if Irena did fall, she probably would have been fine because there's a huge ocean over here, and thankfully there's no fall damage in this game, so yeah. This is actually like the fastest way down the mountain to where Irena actually is. I mean, you could go all the way around the way we came up, but there's no real reason to do that over jumping down because it's just a lot slower, and this is so much faster because check it out. We're already here, and hey, Doug made it before us.
Doug!
There you are. Thanks for clearing out the riffraff up there.
Sure. How's Irena?
I'll be fine. Doug already took care of all the key repairs.
All right, Doug.
Nah, I mean, come on. It's the least I could do. Especially while you were all busy up there kicking indigent asses, right?
You dropped this. You had us all worried, you know.
Thanks, Colonel.
Lieutenant! Huh?
Look who decided to show up.
What? No, we split up looking for parts, and then next thing I know, got this SOS,
And you're late, Gwyn.
and I'm late.
Cut him some slack. He must have really hauled it here with those stubby legs of his. It doesn't matter you weren't here first, Gwyn. I'm just glad you're here.
Well, sure.
I'm glad too. Because now you can carry the lieutenant all the way back to the city for us.
Yes, sir.
Aw, isn't that just sweet? I think they like each other. Alright, so everything worked out in the end. Ooh, can I actually check this out? Level 4 mechanical. Gosh dang it, we are not getting lucky with these field actions at all today. Alright, so we are pretty much done with this affinity quest. I think really all we gotta do is go back to New LA, talk to Vandom, report back in, you know, get our debriefing or whatever, and that should wrap things up. So let's head inside, do just that, and then we'll go plant that probe in Oblivia because I believe that's the last thing we need to do in order to meet the requirements for starting Chapter 5. So what's up, Vandom?
Nice work out there. The reclaimers are going over the parts as we speak.
You'll let us know if anything comes of it, right?
You got it. I don't mind telling you, I'm a bit surprised your team found all the parts and rescued Irena. Maybe surprised isn't the word. More like disappointed. In the other teams, those slackers have a few thousand push-ups coming to them.
Don't be too hard on them. Doug and Gwyn both played a part in the rescue operation. If it wasn't for the two of them, Irena could have been in real trouble.
Doug? Okay, yes. Gwyn? Maybe not so much.
In any case, most of the credit is yours, Elma. But what else is new? Been that way since before we left Earth.
Doug was saying the same thing earlier. You really are something, Elma.
Alright, so we can inquire and ask about when Elma struck back at the enemy at Earth. That seems kind of interesting. Or we can correct them and say that it was a team effort, which seems kind of rude, so let's go with inquire. That's actually more interesting to me.
Oh, that.
If you want to know a person's past, gives them cause to tell you about it.
What does Elma mean?
It means Elma will tell us about it when she's good and ready.
It's different now anyway. I don't have to charge in alone when I have a team like this. Besides, it's going to take more than just a handful of heroes to win the war and cultivate this planet. Ultimately, the responsibility and the accolades all go back to the commander who unifies and leads the entire operation.
Well, that's true.
Which reminds me, why aren't you Blade Commander, Elma?
Yes, yes. Mustache Man can still have gainful employment as personal assistant to Tatsu.
Ha! Not in this lifetime, potato skin.
Alright, and we are done. So there we go, it didn't take too long, and we got some nice gear, as well as the new dual sword art. Shadow Strike, which I believe Elma can use, because I know she's like in that dual sword class. Unless that's only for us, I'm not entirely sure. I might need to check up on that. Regardless, though, since we're done with that, the only other requirement to start Chapter 5 is to plant our first data probe in the next major continent, which is Oblivia. So, thankfully, we do have this fast travel location all the way on the upper right section of Primordia. If you're looking at the map on the gamepad, that's pretty much where you want to go, and it's right at the entrance to Oblivia, so it's really not going to take us too long to plant this probe. In fact, the probe site is like sort of right at the entrance to this place, so eventually we'll cross the border, and there we go! We discovered Oblivia, this weird desert section of Mira. It's really not that friendly looking. Also, we might be slightly underleveled for this area, because I think we're only like 17 right now, or maybe 18, not entirely sure. But, like I said before, all of the indigens in this area are around low level 20, so don't really want to go around picking too many fights right now, because I'm not exactly how sure we're going to fare against these particular monsters. Like I said, this is the one area of the game that I didn't have a chance to play forward in Japanese, so I'm sort of blind, and I'm not sure how, like, we're going to fare against these enemies just yet. So for now, we're going to avoid getting into any major fights. Now that we planted this probe, though, yeah, we're pretty much done here. So now we're going to fast travel all the way back to New LA, and we should be able to accept the next story mission. However, before we do that, let's do some boring menu stuff very quickly, because before I forget, I want to like switch around my arts, because I have a very specific like setup on my practice file, and I don't remember what it was, but I'm gonna do my best to sort of copy it, because the setup that I have on my practice file is really amazing. Also, yeah, by the way, you can actually move around where your arts are on the bar as well, which does make setting up combos a little bit easier. But yeah, the sort of setup I have on my practice file is really stinking good. Like, I can just constantly put out damage over time, which is amazing for my character, since that's sort of what the build I have does best, I guess you could say, like damage over time. Like, I do have some amount of burst. If I let like all these secondary cooldowns on my arts like charge up, I can deal like a ton of damage all at once. But even if like I'm in a battle where I don't have the opportunity to wait for all my cooldowns, I can still do like a decent amount of damage over time by just using the standard version of the arts without these secondary cooldowns. So I think this is close to what I have. It's not exactly the same, because I think Flash Grenade is something that I don't have on my practice file, but I think that should be close enough. So let's move on to Elma. And I have no idea what I have equipped on Elma on my practice file. Like, really, I should have wrote all this down. I really don't know why I didn't. So, give me a couple of moments to like go through all these arts and look at the ones we have available to us. That way I can sort of pick some better ones for Elma, because like her standard arts, they're not bad, like don't get me wrong, but like we have a ton of these other arts available to us, so it's like, you know, why don't we use some of these instead, since, you know, some arts might do more damage, whereas we could like put different buffs on our bar, we can remove some of the less useful arts on our bar, etc, etc. And you really don't want to neglect your secondary characters in this game. Like, they're just as important as you are, so outfitting them with like arts and equipment that fit your playstyle is always a good idea, even though it will take some time. Alright, so Lynn, let's see. I have no idea what I did with Lynn on my practice file. Honestly, I don't even think I did too much with her standard arts, but we do have a lot available to us, so again, I'll just try and go through here as fast as I can and just like outfit them with arts that I feel would be good for right now. But in between videos, I may go back and sort of adjust things further just to make sure they have exactly what I want, instead of like my quick hacky version of, you know, upgrading my character's arts, so to speak. So let me just finish up like this last change, then I'll go through like upgrade the newer arts, and we'll be done with this because we're like spending way too much time, in my opinion, on these art menus, even though I do want to make like smart decisions. In the grand scheme, I'm just going to probably change these anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So let's just upgrade these very quickly, and we'll be on our way. So perfect. Used up all the battle points. While we're here, though, some of you guys may be curious. I'll show off the Distinguished Uniform, which was the piece of armor we got from completing that last Affinity mission. You guys might be wondering, you know, if it's actually better than what we have or not. Here it is. Although the numbers are higher, overall it actually gives us more debuffs. So if we go to equip strongest gear, yeah, it's not going to leave us with the Distinguished Uniform. Instead, it's going to go back to what I already had on. So, again, just because, like, its main stat is higher than what we currently have, you can see all the red marks on, like, the main stat screen below that. And that's why sort of the game is like, yeah, you know what, let's not put that on. So I'm going to go with what the game thinks as the strongest armor that we have and just keep with this, even though maybe in some particular instances the Distinguished Uniform might be a little bit better. So now that that is done, I've sort of, you know, made that distinction. What do you say we go and start Chapter 5? Like, it's been a long time coming, and I've made you guys wait long enough, so let's do this, man. I'm excited. Only one more chapter and we'll get our Skell. Chapter 5, Mana Maneuvers.
What should I whip up today?
Alright, let's see. Fried chicken. We got pot pie, so these are just the same options as before. Let's go with fried chicken then.
That is a great idea.
Lindley, what is Lindley making?
Fried chicken. We're out of meat, so I'll need something that tastes like chicken. Or should I say someone who tastes like chicken?
What? Tatsu not taste like chicken. Tatsu tastes like poop and poison. Tatsu tastes like poison poop.
Wait, I just remembered. We have plenty of chicken.
Hey, Lindley did that on purpose. Lindley is cruel and mean.
Food's up. Come and get it.
I can't get over your cooking, Lynn. That was delicious.
Thanks, Gwyn. Glad you liked it. I hope it was enough. If I'd known we were expecting company, I definitely would have made more.
Yes. Then maybe Tatsu could eat full portion.
Sorry, Pint Size. What Gwyn lacks in stature, he more than makes up for with his monstrous appetite. He's kind of a pig.
Okay, first of all, I'm taller than you. And second, you just ate almost double what I did. Who's the pig here?
I'm assuming you didn't just come here to argue. What's going on?
So, we had this extermination order up around the northern coast. Some violent indigents that got a little too touchy-feely. Apparently banged up a few outfitters. Pretty standard stuff.
We're all prepped and about to head out, and then bam! Another job comes in from Commander Tank Top. I mean, I know we're the best and all, but seriously.
Sounds rough. Alright, you take the indigents and we'll take Vandam's job.
Thank you, Colonel. Let me walk you through the intel. These images I'm about to show you are from a probe in Oblivia.
Is that a ship of some sort? Can't really tell from that distance.
Yeah, it's hard to grasp the scale with such long-range images. Whatever it is, it's getting hammered.
Friends must do something to help poor ship. Tatsu will not stand for this injustice.
Says the one guy who never actually fights anything.
It's difficult to say for sure from this, but that craft on the right, I bet it's Ganglion. It shares aspects of their mech design.
Our thoughts exactly. The assignment is to get there and confirm one way or another. We don't know who built the ship that's under attack, but as the commander so elegantly put it, our enemy's enemies might be our pals.
I'm inclined to agree.
If we're gonna settle here on Mira, we'll need all the friends we can get.
That's for sure. All right, thanks for the info. We'll take it from here.
Thank you, Colonel.
Alright, so there we go, Chapter 5. We're on a roll now, guys. I'm actually very excited because, like I said, this is sort of the part of the game where I'm completely blind, at least for playing ahead on Japanese. Like, I have not gone into Chapter 5 yet, so this is going to be very, very exciting. Thankfully, we do have that new quick travel location that we planted earlier in this video, so we can go right into Oblivia. And, wow, already where we need to be is, like, right in front of us, so that saved us a ton of time. Let's head over here and, see if we can find that ship, because that's sort of what we're looking for, right?
Welcome to Sandy Bum Canyon.
AKA Oblivia?
Huh? Olivia? Friends really name it that?
You know I said Oblivia.
Lindley, listen to Tatsu. This place always have sandstorms. Sands get everywhere. Therefore, Sandy Bum Canyon. Nopon ancestors name it just fine ages ago. Or does Lindley think she better name her than native Mirin peoples?
What? No.
Good. Tatsu accept Lindley apology and forgive. This time.
Strange. There's nothing here. It was hard to tell the scale of it from the grainy images. But that ship should have at least been big enough to spot from here.
Yeah. Huh? Elma, look!
Another new Xeno species.
Hang on. Maybe I can pick up what they're saying.
Impossible! I'm telling you, just us is impossible, okay? Stop talking like that, would you? We have to do this, right? For everyone back on the ship. But how are we supposed to destroy the turrets? This place is likely crawling with ganglion, no?
So they're not ganglion, at least.
Yeah. It sounded like they're fighting against them to me.
Friends. Tatsu knows. Those are Manon. Manon appeared on Mira maybe year before Friends?
I know that sound. What is it, Elma?
Just Tatsu, the ganglion, and now these Manon. Don't you find it a little odd that we can understand these alien languages?
Good point.
Alright, so we can guess and say they learned our language, or we can hypothesize and suggest some device might be translating. We hypothesized before, so I'm going to do that again because that seems more logical to me.
Right? Must be something like that.
But we haven't been using our comm devices when we've been talking with Tatsu.
Well, Tatsu is fluent. More or less.
Tatsu, did you study our language?
Friends language?
What language are we speaking right now?
What language? Nopon, of course. Friends Nopon very good, by the way.
See? Xenoforms have different anatomy, physiology, different vocal setups in general. It seems likely they would struggle with our pronunciations. And yet here we are, conversing.
But if they can't even produce the sounds, this shouldn't be possible.
No, it shouldn't be. Unless our words aren't being perceived as sounds at all. Maybe our intent is getting across some other way. But how? Could it be something about this planet?
Someone sounds pretty intrigued, huh?
Well, what if it is some kind of new phenomenon? Aren't you curious to learn more?
Alright, now you're starting to sound just like Elle.
Okay already. Friends talk less, help Manon more. After all, Tatsu have reputation as hero pawn to uphold here.
Sure. Right after a quick snack.
I'm not sure how much we can help. but we should at least make contact. Agreed?
Alright, I agree with Elma on that one, so we should probably go and talk to them, but you know what? We're gonna do that in the next episode, so if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing, but once again guys, my name is Matt, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.